Death row is not a behavior problem. In fact,
Yeah.
death row is probably the best behaved camp in the entire prison.
There was a female prison guard over there. She was caught on a cell phone recorded video having sexual relations with a man who was incarcerated.
Those without capital get the punishment. And if the state wants to see you executed or see you dead, it will happen. Doesn't matter who you are. You will never see a rich person on death row. Let's just keep that in the back of our heads. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Love Within Walls, a prison wife podcast. I'm your friendly host, Gigi, and I'm here with the beautiful...
Your friendly host, Paige. Hi, friends. Happy July.
Hey, y'all. Happy July. It is episode 19. I just want to start off by thanking everybody for showing up to our live episode 18, even though you guys were amazing, even though we did have some technical difficulties getting it up and running. The questions, the comments, you guys being patient and supportive.
And helping.
Yes, and helping us, sending us screenshots, everything. It was phenomenal, and we just can't thank you guys enough. If you missed episode 18, you can always go to our YouTube channel and stream it there. It is up still. Unfortunately, we could not get audio off of that. So if you're one of our Spotify or Apple listeners, we apologize, but the pod is up on YouTube. If you have, an aux cord or some type of cord, you can play it and listen to it in your car, or go ahead and go over to YouTube and check it out. So
it was a fun experience for us.
It was, and we're learning as we go. So just, we appreciate all the help and the patience with us, because we're humble people, and sometimes we don't know what we're doing, and it looks really easy, and then you find out there's like all these steps you have to take. So speaking of learning experiences, I am a dinosaur, and I know I'm so proud of myself yesterday, because if you are not following our Instagram, our pod, or in our Facebook group, you missed this, or our TikTok. I filmed 3 parts of a Get Ready With Me series on TikTok, and I never ever used TikTok, and I never have ever filmed a TikTok before, and now I can see what the hype is. It's so easy. It's
fun.
It's fun to do. So I did a 3-part Get Ready With Me series on TikTok. It is posted also to our Instagram. And it's on our Love Within Walls Facebook group as well. So I, just had a little fun. So this dinosaur can make TikToks, and I enjoyed doing it. And I was getting ready for my contact visit, which was yesterday. So,
which you have to tell everyone all about it. And I specifically didn't ask any detailed questions, because I was waiting to find out here. So
okay,
I want to know all about it.
Well, I got to go in early. Technically, our contact we only get so that you guys know. I think people misunderstand what a contact visit is for me. I think they think it's a family visit, and it's not. A contact visit we only get right now at this time. We only get 5 to 6 contact visits a year. And what a contact visit is for me is what you would normally think of as a regular visit, where you get to go sit next to or across from them at a table, and you get to hug them and kiss them, like having actual contact. And the reason why they call it a contact visit is because most of our visits are behind glass. So in essence, I only get to hold or touch my husband 24 hours 24 hours total in a whole year. So these contact visits are precious. They are sacred to us. They mean a lot to us. We don't take them for granted at all, just because they are so few and far between. So yesterday we had a contact visit, and our contact visits are scheduled from 12 to 4. But I'm going to give today my shout out is going to go to the staff at Death Row at Angola. They are amazing. They are kind. They what's the word? They don't haggle us. They treat us with dignity and respect. They give us extra
That's the
time.
COs.
When as this, yeah, the police, the COs, they don't have to. They can follow the rules and do whatever, like, but I think they realize that these guys don't get contact visits very often, and so they kind of, don't haggle us. So I got to go. I got there a little before 10 o'clock in the morning, and I got to go walk right in. I didn't have to go sit behind glass for 2 hours. They let me go in right away, and I got to stay till 4 o'clock. Michael and I had an amazing time. We don't talk as much because talking is a lot of a glass visit because that's all you have
Mm-hmm.
really. But for contact visits, we just really kind of just sit there and just both of our love languages is physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to just hold each other. I got to put my head on his shoulder, got to touch his chest, rub his shoulders. He rubbed my hair and my neck. Like it was just like couple stuff, nothing risque.
Mm-hmm.
Like we weren't making out or anything. Like we kiss, we do pecks, whatever. But it was just more of just being like a normal couple, like having that physical contact
Mm-hmm.
of just touching, sitting next to each other, playing. We played Scrabble, we played several rounds of Uno. I mean, it was just a great day to be a couple,
Yeah.
and have that moment. And of course, I always cry when I leave because that's the hardest part for me is just leaving him there.
Especially when you only
And
have
knowing,
so you know what
yeah,
I mean? Like that's
yeah. So I'm gonna. We did take 4 pictures, which we don't take. We usually take 2 or 3. So we took 4. So sorry, listeners, you're gonna have to go to my personal Instagram page to see these because I posted them. All right. So here is Michael and I, just our
love that
normal
one.
picture.
Love that one.
Yeah. Just look at each other. This was his decision. He gets to pick a few, and I pick a few poses.
The way
So
you're looking at
you
him, you're
want,
just so in love.
yeah. And somebody even commented on my Facebook when I posted him, like the way he looks at you. Like, oh. So okay, that was one. So Michael and I also love to do stupid, like what you would think of as those stupid 90s JC Penney photos, like just cheesy couple
The
photos.
best. The kind that we're gonna take
Yeah.
in
So
Nashville.
yes, yes. And so
I love that.
this is him and I posted this on my Facebook page like a day before visit. Like I usually try to
Yeah.
give people a little sneak peek of photos we like to recreate where we're both just looking up into the sky. And the camera guy, who's a trustee at Angola, said, "What are y'all looking for? Aliens? Like what are y'all looking for?" So
Maybe.
and then we did just a couple's cheesy picture here. And then finally I said I wanted one of him by himself because I haven't gotten one of these since 2019, 2018. So just Big Mike by himself. So,
Aww.
and he's super tan. So he's been hitting the yard like twice a day.
I know. Whenever I go and I see Joe and I'm like, I stand next to him because he's just like out on the yard all the time. His complexion is already darker than mine. And then he's like that. And then I'm like the whitest white you could see. I like look like Casper next to him. So
I know. I feel like I'm usually the dark one, and he's like, because I have the olive skin, and he's like, I'm like pale compared to him.
mm,
So, but yeah, that was our little visit.
that's awesome. So
So,
how many more do you got? You guys was that your first of this year? Second?
that was number 3 for
Oh,
us.
okay. Okay.
Now, I will say that they're putting forward a proposal to the warden about maybe having getting one a month because they have high security closed cell, which is basically like protective custody or people that can't live in population because they fight too much or they, hurt the guards or something. They get one a month, but death row only gets 5 to 6. And death row is not a behavior problem. In
Yeah.
fact, death row is probably the best behaved camp in the entire
Mhm.
prison. So, and that's why Hooper not Hooper. Well, Warden Hooper is the warden. He likes to just go hang out with the guys back there because it's chill. It is so chill.
That
So
reminds me of how I mentioned about how I've had people tell me that like lifers and stuff, especially like
mhm.
specifically in California, whenever like you know, people have gone in and worked with the incarcerated men, that they've, and even women, that they've said the most pleasant and best to work with, and the ones who want to like take in all of the ones, are the ones that are there on those life sentences and beyond, like, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and that's also proven in the recidivism rate of lifers. I
Yep.
mean, it's what, less than 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So it just proves that, even though these people, and if you think about it, and I'm thinking about just death row by itself, and I'm sure this can go for a good chunk of lifers, the majority of people with life sentences and people on death row committed the crime when they were between the ages of 18 and 24.
The you know, Joseph's mugshot, when I look at that, I'm like, that's a child.
Yeah.
That's a baby. I'm like, I understand. I'm not trying to make light of his crime, because, you know, he wouldn't do that. I won't do that.
Hmm.
But it's still the fact that, you know, to put someone behind bars for life at a young age, it just shouldn't, you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yeah. And I can understand if you're 35 and you commit a crime like that, then yeah, you knew what you were
Your
doing.
brain's
But,
developed.
you know, there's science to back up. I just can't stress that enough. And like the fact that people are just sitting here ignoring it, there is science to back up the fact that your brain is not fully developed until you're 25 years
Yep.
old. So, you know, um, I know we're digressing on a whole different topic, but it just, we're hoping that in the end, we're hoping to get one visit a month. And so hopefully we have another one in we're looking at Labor Day weekend. And then we have one in October for the rodeo weekend.
Good.
And then we're hoping to have our final one, our sixth one, in if that proposal doesn't go through, in December for Christmas. So
Well, everyone send good vibes Gigi and Michael's way so that
yeah,
that can happen.
fingers and toes crossed.
I have my next family visit next month, so I can finally say
I'm
that now that it's July
excited.
next month. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
you should do. Do you do like a whole like get ready for your like? You should do that. You should do a get ready with me before you check
So
in.
that's like what I wanted to do last time, but that's like before I was more like of a TikTok girly. And now I'm trying to be more of a
Okay.
TikTok girly. So I'm gonna do that this time. I'm gonna try to.
See it. And here I was thinking that you were already a TikTok girly because you were blowing up on
I was
TikTok.
not.
Hey, y'all, just saying we need help. We need to get Paige to 10,000 followers
Please,
on
I need money.
TikTok. I'm gonna do a plug here for Paige. She's got a goal. What are we at now? What are you at now?
Look,
Like eight
8,000.
eight. Okay, so we need 2,000 more followers, and she posts really cool stuff about her and Joe and pictures and all of that good. So shameless plug here. Go follow Paige. Paige, what is it? It's
And LWAP.
and LWAP and LWAP. LWOP and LWAP. And then also come follow us on Instagram, y'all. We have a goal to get to 2,000 followers on
We
Instagram. We're
do.
currently at almost 1850. Um, Prison Wife Podcast on the Instas, please. Help us y'all, help us take over the world. Just saying. Did you remember what you were going to say, Paige?
Oh no, that's gone. That's long gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
Hmm. The
Okay.
struggles of having ADHD. I'm like, if I don't say my word vomit immediately, it's gone.
Okay. Well, that's why I know. That's why I stopped. I was like, oh, go ahead. Because
Did you know?
I'm the same way. All right, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and dive into episode 19 of Love with the Malls, a Prison Wife podcast. But before we start, we're going to go to our sponsor, beyondbarsimaging.com. Not .com, right? Are we still doing
No, we're
.com?
doing just go to Instagram.
Okay. Instagram, Beyond Bars Imaging. Slide into Paige's DMs, y'all, because she can do epic shit with your pictures. Telling you, she can make cartoons. She can do lots of different backgrounds, merging pictures if you can't take pictures together. hit a girl up. She does an amazing job. You can see her work on Beyond Bars Imaging on Instagram, and she's also on the TikToks as well. Beyond Bars Imaging on TikTok, and you can see some of her work. How she does the videos where it transitions from the OG picture to like the new picture, and you can see how amazing she is. So hit her up, slide into her
Do
DMs
it.
for Beyond Bars Imaging. All right. Paige, are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay, here we go. I'm so excited now. What up with that? What up with that? All right, what up with that legislation? Paige, do you have anything for what up with that legislation?
So I let Gigi know before we started recording, everyone, just to defend myself. I am so unprepared for this podcast. I've had a little bit of a crazy week, but luckily it is winding down. But I did look through some of the headlines before, and I saw something about the UK, about the prisons minister James Tipson. I don't
Ooh.
saying that only a third of prisoners should be behind bars. There, it just said, prison reform experts in the UK are saying that, like, why are we putting everyone in prison? There are too many people incarcerated. And if the UK is saying that, and we are much more populated with our incarcerated numbers, just again another thing that kind of makes your head turn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, if you think about it over the past, I don't know how many ever years, they've had a more conservative prime minister and party in power.
Mhm.
And now they just flipped to the Labor Party. So I'm hoping that these are things that can be changed because the Labor Party is not as conservative. And I'm glad that somebody spoke up and said, like, we don't want to be like the United States. We don't want to do
Mhm.
this. We don't want to profit off human bodies. So that seems to be our MO because we're all about money, 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 corporation, 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 and not about the humanity of people.
Yeah.
So good job. Good job, Great Britain, for speaking out, speaking up, and not wanting to have a mass incarceration system like the United States. So
Uh,
congratulations.
even
Good
when I
job.
was googling, I saw an article that was talking about how the Italian government is seeking to ease prison overcrowding and stuff, and I'm like, hello, like
Let's
are we here? You know what I mean? Is this happening? Meanwhile, shit is happening down south. Like,
lock them up, throw away the key, make money off bodies. It's
Mhm.
it's basically slavery down
It
here.
is. It is. It's
Mhm.
legalized.
Yeah. And I think that it's just very backwards thinking. So I'm proud that other first world countries are um seeing and not wanting to become part of a trend like the United
Mm-hmm.
States. Return, like Bill Maher said, return customers. They want that
Yep.
here. So, congrats, UK. Good job. All right, I have a few things. Just
Also, though, speaking of the UK, I don't know if one of your
what?
things is talking about something that we should talk about, because I know the people that will listen to us have saw it, and if you didn't see it, I'm gonna be so amazed. The prison guard in the UK.
Was it you that told me about
Oh,
it?
okay, probably.
About it was like the
Yes,
female
yeah.
prisoners. Okay,
No, the
yeah.
female prison guard. She
Yes, you did
Okay.
tell
I
me.
thought I
You
did. I
did.
thought I did.
You did.
Okay,
You did.
but that
Did you want to tell everybody?
well, for those who don't know, I'm gonna throw it out there, and I don't know if it is, if this is right. I think they call it HMP Wandsworth or something like that. It's something like that. At that prison,
Wait, stop for a second. Does it HMP, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that like they have like these terms, like is it Her Majesty's Prison
that would be honestly,
or at this point, His Majesty's
I
Prison?
mean, probably.
Okay, just I was just curious what HMP stands for.
Um,
All right,
I mean,
go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry, Paige.
curious now. I Google it and it says, "Hit my phone, help me, please." Um, uh, His Majesty's Prison.
Stop! Really? Oh my
Hmm.
gosh,
Hmm.
what a fancy way to say it. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
now we all learned something, or maybe just us. Who knows? Um, basically, what happened is that there was a female prison guard over there, and I believe it was at the beginning or at the end of last month. She was caught on a cell phone recorded video having sexual relations with another man, or with a man who was incarcerated. Um, she's on video laughing, obviously having sexual relations, and then also the guy in the back is like, who's recording, is smoking weed. He's like, this is how we do it. Long story short, she's married, because like you can see it on it that she has like a wedding ring on and everything, but I guess she's a swinger. So that's an even another plot twist to the story, is that she actually, or apparently that's be something her husband might not care about, although he probably should, because it is illegal what she did. And
Yeah,
she's in a position of power, like we said when we talked about it before.
yeah, and there's like a big, like, I guess, like hypothetical questioning of should only women work at female prisons and only men work at male prisons,
Mm-hmm.
because of that possibility of sexual misconduct or the power struggle thing,
Mm-hmm.
like at the FCI, what was the name of it, FCI, the one in California that they
Dublin.
closed down because Dublin. I knew it was like an Irish name. The FCI Dublin thing where the men were, like being sexually
The women,
assaulting
yeah, they were,
female
yeah.
incarcerated people, and then you have where women are taking advantage of the male inmates. I mean, that's a common thing at Angola. I'm sure it's a common thing a lot of places, clearly. Um, so that was something that came up, like should only men, like at night in Angola, only male guards,
Hmm.
because they work 12-hour shifts. So you go from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And so from the 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. shift is only male.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's another thing about guards, at least that like even Joe has told me, is that like it's not even like as much that you need to worry about the men who are incarcerated, but like it's almost like it's a whole world within themselves of like guards that are married to each other, or guards that are cheating on their significant others with each other. It's like a whole like it could be like its own drama
A whole
show.
underworld.
Honestly, it could be its
Yeah.
own show. Like that could be what they focus on, and how unfaithful some of them can be, because even just sitting, you hear it, and you know the men are around it and they hear it. So like I wouldn't be surprised if you guys, like your husband's, your loved one, if you ask them, that they have some kind of story that they've heard.
I've heard, yes, and I've heard so many stories from Michael, because at Angola, since Angola is in the middle of fucking nowhere,
Hmm.
they have something called a BOQ, which is like little apartments or like little studio, like
Like
almost
a
like an
family
apartment
visit.
complex.
Like a family visit
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, it would be like what your family, yeah, but it's for the guards who stay overnight because they might live, in another state, or they might live so many miles away
Hmm.
and they need a place to stay for the night. So they have this BOQ, and you hear stories of people who are married, but they hang out during the week at the BOQ and they end up hooking up. They're cheating on their spouses. Even like the incarcerated people that work when people want to work the BOQ, because they like, it's like being a fly on the wall. And we've heard of people hooking up, even guards like back at death row hooking up, and one of them had to leave, like the wife made him leave Angola because she caught him cheating with another guard from Angola.
Shocker.
So, yeah. And, the inmates also get in on it at the BU. I mean, it is just, it's like, I would love to be like a camera person, and it could be its own YouTube crazy or reality show. Like, really, the stories that come out of that. So, yeah, it is a thing. It's like a little
Yeah.
underworld within,
Hmm.
the prison community, or the guard, the CO community.
Anyway, I just had to throw that out there before we kept going because I was like, I know that people would be
Okay.
disappointed if we didn't because I had a lot of people, or I saw a lot of people, and people messaged me about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. We love a good hot, well, I don't love it because I get pissed off with it, but it is interesting. It
hmm.
is very interesting. So, all right, I have a few things coming out from the FAM Foundation. Shout out to
I love
FAM,
them.
FAMM. They had something coming out of Michigan. The Michigan legislature passed SB 599. It's headed to Governor Whitmer's desk. This is going to improve medically frail parole, allowing early release for those posing little to no safety threat. So, what we would think of as a compassionate parole or compassionate release. So, this is a big step for efficiency in sentencing and, I guess, long term care for elderly or those that are sick. And also, it gives a chance to reunite families.
Yeah.
So, congrats, Michigan, for that. Hopefully, the governor signs it.
I think she would. She's
Um,
ready. She's a
yeah,
good egg.
she's a good egg.
Hmm.
All right. And then also I have something from Fam Foundation again coming through. Um uh yes, okay. The Fam Foundation, this might apply to you, Paige. It says it's called the Pennsylvania Family Call. If you live in
I've been on that
Pennsylvania,
before. I've been on that before.
you
Yeah.
have? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the first Thursday of every
Hmm.
month. This month it is Thursday, July 11th, so tomorrow. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it says, Pennsylvania, do you care deeply about criminal justice reform? If the flawed system has affected you or a loved one, now is the moment to speak up. Participate in the important conversation happening this Thursday. It's on Zoom. And if you want that information, please hit up Paige or I, and we can get it to you. If you live in Pennsylvania and you're interested in joining FAM. If you don't know FAM is an incredible nonprofit organization that works for criminal justice reform. They also had a huge initiative with the Visit a Prison, challenging our legal legislators, senators, representatives to go and visit a prison before passing all of these criminal justice bills.
Yeah.
They also did the heat, because the heat is an issue right now. Obviously, they did the sitting in a cell without any air conditioning, what that was like almost like a simulation for people to understand what it's like, especially in the deep South where there's no air conditioning and heat indices are hitting 120. So, um, get involved with FAM, follow them. They're an incredible. We're doing like everything all at once. We're doing all the things today,
They
but
they make really good campaigns that are easy to join and participate in, even if like you're lazier. Like you literally just fill out your info, and they
mhm.
literally you go through and you click out a button, and it'll send emails to your legislator. They'll send you like a link that you can then post on your Twitter or your Instagram, and you can share that, and then have more people join and spread the news. And they're really good at that because I think sometimes people struggle to like figure out, how can I help and do that? And they actively provide those. So
Yeah,
they're a great.
they're a great organization to follow and be a part of. Um, I'm also going to share something that came out. It was probably last week or the week before last. Texas executed an inmate or an incarcerated individual. Sorry, I'm still getting it. Um, and he left. They did the Marshall Project did a parting interview as they normally do for someone scheduled for execution. He was executed, unfortunately. So, you know, uh, I think of his victim. I think of his family. All of that goes out to them. But he did have a really interesting quote that I wanted to share. He said, and I quote, "I think ultimately the state is afraid to acknowledge the fact that we can be rehabilitated and be a contribution to society from prison, because it goes against how they prosecuted us, how they labeled us in court as menaces to society." So, one of his last interviews is when he gave that quote, and I just think that that says so much and so little.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to share that, because obviously, we think of, um, the state thinks that killing is the best answer, and it's really not. People can be rehabilitated. I think the state doesn't want to believe that because of the fact that, um, you know, they want to fill prisons and they want to keep people in prison. So it's just sad. But
Mm-hmm.
all right. In Indiana, sorry, I got one more. In Indiana, um they're now seeking an execution since 2000, first execution since 2009 after they have acquired the lethal injection drug. The governor is pushing for this. Um, and a lot of people are saying the state is not the angel of death. This shouldn't be happening. But obviously, if you haven't noticed, speaking of the death penalty, there's a lot of states that are ramping up executions, and it's becoming more of the conservative trend. And I think, along with the criminal justice reform rollbacks, so all of this plays into something like, you know, that conservative thing where we want to fry them, kill them, all this stuff. Like, it doesn't really do anything. If anything, it costs more money. Capital cases cost millions of dollars per incarcerated individual. So I think there are better ways to do this. And okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't want to go on a rant, but it is something that obviously we see more and more trends. I know Arizona is talking about also starting executions up again. It's coming in Louisiana. I can tell you that right now.
It's a few states I've heard that have talks, even like Idaho, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So we need to get out there and do something, y'all, because let me tell you this. I'll say this here and I'll say it now. Those without capital get the punishment. And if the state wants to see you executed or see you dead, it will happen. Doesn't matter who you are. But you will never see a rich person on death row. Let's just keep that in the back of our heads. So, anyway, all right. My rant's over. So, anywho, we'll just, hey, let's do something, but I'll be chill. I'm very chill today, actually. I'm very, very calm today.
Hmm.
I won't take out my earrings until we get to the next segment.
What's the next segment?
The next seg is our mean tweet of the week.
Oh, we got that.
Oh, wait, that's not it. Hold on. Tweet, little birdie. All right. What is your mean tweet of the week, Paige?
So my mean tweet is actually a mean TikTok comment. I get lots of them. Like I said last time, if you're ever bored, just go through some of my comments on TikTok. Some of them are kind of funny. Most of them are kind of just like, wow, you really stopped and took like time out of your day to write this. Like, it's, oh, I hope you're okay. You know what I mean? So the winning comment, I gave him his attention that he wanted. He wanted attention, obviously. He posted on a video of me talking about how people don't like Joseph and I together. And the next slide is literally a picture of us on a video chat. And it's saying, that's fine. I wish them peace and I hope they can find kindness in their hearts. Okay. This was the reply. You know, dating and marrying inmates is an official diagnosed mental health disease in the DSM.
Hold my earrings, Paige.
Like,
Trying to take them out.
sir, Google is your friend. You know that? Like, all it takes is one quick G, and it'll probably even pop up in your search bar. You don't even got to type it up. it's embarrassing. And all of the other women, you know, they hopped right on and they said, "What are you talking about?" Because, you know, assume he's talking about whatever that hyper, whatever it's called when women are attracted to men that do violent crimes or something, which wouldn't even make sense to say that anyone who is married or dating someone incarcerated is like that, because not everyone is in prison for a violent crime. And first off, that's not even in the DSM. That isn't. So it's just like people create lies and just want to sound like they know what they're talking about, but then it's even more embarrassing when they get exposed. So shout out to
I just
him.
want to sing. I just want to sing. I took my earrings out. I was putting my hair in a bun in the back. Like I was ready to go to blows, but I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
chillax
It's don't give him your
because
energy. That's what he wants.
I know, but I'm going to say he's a dumb motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I said it. You're a dumb
He
motherfucker.
deleted his
And
comment.
you're a douche canoe. You're definitely a douche
He
canoe.
deleted his comment, so he wasn't feeling too strong about it. I'm like, oh, too bad
Oh.
my video still stays up.
Too bad I'm shouting you the fuck out,
Yeah, now I'm
bitch.
talking about you
Okay.
on my
Sorry.
podcast, so thank you. Shout out. Shout out to you and your 2 followers. Best of luck.
All right. And then we also have our douchebag of the week.
Mm-mm-mm.
Paige, do you have a douchebag of the week besides this dude? It's just saying. Hold on. Brother. All right, who's our douchebag of the week?
I don't have a reigning from our last one.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't prepared.
I don't have one either.
I'm trying to think who deserves it.
I mean, there's a lot of people that could totally like Governor Jeff Landry, totally. Um, DeSantis again, totally. Um, this dude on TikTok, totally. Um, yeah, I don't have one either.
Let's just they can all it's like the end of Mean Girls where she breaks the crown and she gives a piece to everyone. That's
Oh
us. That's
yeah,
us, but for all of
yeah.
the douchebags. We're like, you get a piece. You get a piece.
You get a
So
piece.
everyone
You
is one.
little bitch. You get a piece. All right. For everybody. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into our speaky pipes and questions, unless you had a topic you wanted to talk about, Paige.
I did not.
Okay. Well, guess what? Ring, ring, ring. Guess who's calling?
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Fred.
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
Well, we know when Fred gives us a shout out, it's time to get into our questions and our speaky pipes. So I'm very, very excited about that. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and dive in. And we did have a few little hits on our posts for questions. So here we go. Kathy asks a question. When you see other couples in public, how do you handle the intense emotions of loneliness, jealousy, fear, anger about the situation? I see other couples and sometimes I'm okay. Other times I literally have to leave where I am or I'm afraid I will have a total breakdown in front of everyone. Thanks. You're doing a great job.
Hmm. And so are
Thank you,
you, because you're
Kathy.
self-aware that you're getting upset like that. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
lot of people can't even,
You're self-regulating.
yeah,
Yeah.
some people can't even identify that feeling in themselves. So that's a big step. I feel like that only really hits me the most when I'm at like the beach or like when I'm at places. Like it's not some, of course, I think about Joe all the time, everywhere, but like
Mm-hmm.
when I'm at the beach and I like see a couple together, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to sit on the beach with Joe so bad, like so bad. I think about it then, but then, you know, I try to like pull it back and I'm like, okay, like at the end of the day, I would rather not be able to sit on the beach with Joseph than sit on the beach with someone that isn't Joseph. So
That's a good way to look at it. I get like that when I go to like concerts or events
yeah,
and you have couples everywhere, or if I see a couple in a restaurant that aren't even just sitting there on their phones, not even talking to each other, it pisses me the fuck off. Just because I would give anything to have that with Michael. And I feel I feel the loneliness part when I see couples like at concerts, because I go to concerts with friends, or my mom and I go to a lot of concerts together. And I see couples together, and I'm like, oh man, I just would give anything to have Michael here. I'm so thankful that I have friends and family to go with, but I do feel it when you see it in front of you.
And it's like a moment. It's like a thing that you like would like take a picture in your head and think about forever. And I think it's like those moments like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know a way to handle it other than I sit in that moment for a second and then
Acknowledge it.
acknowledge it. And, I just try to I'm usually out having fun. So I try to not stay there too long. I will say that having, seeing couples at dinner like that, it does get to me a little bit more, only because I just want to shake them and say, you have somebody. Don't take this for granted. Like, don't sit here and play on your phone. Don't even talk to each other. Like, be a couple, because not everybody gets to do this, or gets to have this. But I just tend to move on. Obviously, I don't stay there very long. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, like, because I'm not a psychologist or anything. But I think you understanding that you're feeling that way is important. And listen, if you need to go step away from it, do it. Sometimes we just need to take a break, um, and get your emotions in check. But we can't let the loneliness take over our entire lives and keep us from doing
The same
things.
way
I think that's
you wouldn't want them to do that. You know what I mean? Because they could sit there. I think about that all the time when I think about Joe. Because like when I'm like having a bad day and I'm like, oh, I hate this, and then I think about Joe's doing the same thing, except he's sitting in a cell, which is so small, and looking at like the same thing, and like he's also going through it. So it's like I wouldn't want him to be sitting there being like, oh, I could be doing this. Like I don't know if that would help.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to kind of, and we can't. I know listen, and you have to know that you're going to see it. Like, you have to ready yourself. Like, you're going to see it for as long as they're in, and I'm going to see it for the rest of my life, unfortunately. And so, but like, I love what Paige said about, I'd rather do this by myself than do this with someone that I'm really not into, or, don't really want to be with, that I don't really love.
Right? You could sit on the beach with any guy. Okay, that's not Michael, that's
Yeah.
not Joseph.
And I'm telling you, as somebody that's done it, I've dated other people. It didn't end up working because I wasn't feeling it. I would cry
Yeah.
because I wanted it to be Michael so bad, and it wasn't. So I finally just said, it's not worth it. I'd rather do shit by myself than have somebody that I don't really care about or really want to be with. It's point, like, I don't want to just settle for somebody, to have somebody. I think we get so wrapped up in having another companion or person that we forget, like, if you really don't want to be with them, then why are you with them? Like, don't settle. Like, I have to tell myself that. So I love that you said that, Paige. Because it is hard. It is hard to see. It's hard to look at because you want it and your heart yearns for that. But just know that it's not always going to be this way for a lot of y'all. And that it to having someone there is not just to have someone there is not going to be what you really want, because your heart wants your person. So
Agreed.
all right. We have another question from Sedez Kutri. I don't know if I'm saying this right. All right. Do you know of any woman who is dealing with their man being out of prison after so many years? I guess dealing with post-incarceration. They call it PICS or something like that, post-incarceration syndrome, or dealing with the trauma of being incarcerated for a long time.
What would how could you not have that?
Yeah.
like that's been your life every day. And like I think about Joe and like even like the PTSD and stuff he's picked up from, like that's with him for life, regardless.
Mhm.
So I mean, I know a few women who have their husbands that have came home kind of even more recently that are even struggling because it's completely different. And it's like I even feel weird speaking on it because I haven't gone through it, so I can't like really give a good opinion, but I think connecting with other women who are going through it would be good, and just kind of like, keeping yourself educated with like ways that you can help them, because there are different groups and stuff
Oh yeah.
that can help with that.
Yeah, and one of my friend Jenna, she's in our Love Within Walls group. She runs a post-incarceration syndrome support group.
Mhm.
And unfortunately her husband went back in.
Mhm.
But she does still have it. So there are groups for women who obviously are trying to I'm going to say this. I can only imagine
Yeah.
a relationship already is a shit ton of work. And then you have to think about how much more work it is when they come home and are there and you're dealing with all this trauma built up over all these years. And they're trying to navigate this whole new world that they're entering into.
Mhm.
So obviously, having that support there for you to handle this is why, and I'll be honest, this is why a lot of couples post incarceration don't make it.
Because they don't want to do like
Like
that give and take.
it's a lot of shit to deal with. It's a lot of shit and sometimes it's too much. It breaks the couple,
Mhm. It,
you know?
totally.
So I think you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with your loved one. You have to kind of take a step back and go, okay, well, let me understand. Like, this is why he's saying it. This is why he's doing this way. This is why he's reacting the way he is. And, it may be helpful to have a therapist. It may be helpful to have somebody to talk to. It may be helpful to have a group of people that are in the same boat with you. So, I would recommend finding one of those support groups for picks or for coming home and having that extra support system, because it's hard work right now while they're in. It's even harder work when they come home.
Fully,
It's
because you there's so many aspects. It's people that weren't around them, like friend wise and even sometimes family wise, they're going to be back around them. They have more things at their fingertips, like if they had addiction issues or anything like that. So it's like it's a bunch of trust, and it's they really have to be committed to wanting to make that change and stick to that change, or else it's like a recipe for failure, which is unfortunately sometimes what happens. From what I've seen of these guys that have like shorter stints, like 5 years, or like even like sometimes 3 years, that go go in and they're like, no, I'm changed, and they come out and they're jumping at the first temptation at something, which is sad, but it's just making sure that your mindset is right.
Yeah. So I would definitely try to find something that works to help you, because you need support too. It's not just him. He needs like
Hmm.
you need it too to be able to handle all this. All right, our next question comes from our girl Addie at Chapters and Chains. She always comes in with some really good questions. I love this question. Because she knows that we are Zodiac people. How do the strengths of your Zodiac sign help you as a prison wife?
I think that's easy for me because Cancer is motherly and like comforting and wanting to be there and help, and I'm like, that's totally me as a prison wife. Like with Joseph, with like others, like
Mhm.
I am happy if other people are happy and you know are content and comfortable. And Joseph and I always tell each other that we're each other's safe space, and we're both Cancers, so it's like a safe space as a person for us, and that's definitely
Okay.
full and full.
Is there any other traits of Cancer that you think help you or are your strengths on this prison wife journey?
I think I think maybe, the kindness, because I've learned a lot of kindness. Like, I always thought I was a nice person, not like I was a rude person before, but like, I think um, being able to be kind and not judge other people helped me go along this way. Like, not that I was ever judgmental before, but even more so, like, I don't judge anyone. Like, I don't judge their circumstances or anything because, like, I don't know where they came from. And that even goes outside of being a prison wife. You know what I mean? Like, I carry that in my whole life now because I don't know anyone's life. And who am I to judge,
Yeah.
But I also think I can be feisty too. So that's also probably another good Cancer quality because, we're the crab. And if they piss me off, like the COs or even Josie, if he's making me mad, I'm like, the claws are coming out. You know what I mean?
She finna pinch y'all's asses,
Mhm.
just saying.
I can definitely be a crab.
I love when Paige rages. I do. I get nervous, but I kind of love it low key. Like not like
I get mad,
because
mad.
yeah, but I'm just saying like it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah,
So to see it is like something a new world for
I
me.
love
So
that. Love that. Are you
um,
a
all right.
Gemini?
So Gemini, yes. What is my strength as a Gemini? Well, I will say this: it's a strength and not a strength. One thing that Michael like enjoys because it's kind of entertaining in a sense because I can think about all the things. And then also it can be detrimental to me is the fact that I am a thinker. And not only am I a thinker, I'm an overthinker. I think of everything that could happen, everything that could go wrong, and it could go either way. Like I could be figuring out a puzzle and solving it and thinking of all these solutions to a problem, or I could be like going in, helter skelter apocalyptic Gigi mode.
That is so true,
Um,
knowing you. Like, that is so.
oh yeah, everybody's like, okay, and then they tell me to calm down. That's the
Because you'll
worst
be
thing that
freaking
they
out
can
about
say to
something, and I'm
me.
like, wait, that happened? What happened? You're like, no, it didn't, but it could. And I'm like, what? Like,
But if you need a solution to a problem, I'm your girl because I'm thinking of every fucking scenario and I'm going through and like mentally thinking
Mhm,
how this could, like, especially with Michael's legal stuff, I'm thinking like, okay, well, if you do this, this could happen. Like, I'm thinking of all the stuff and trying to get all the things in all the little wheels in the right place.
mhm,
I'm thinking of all the things. So definitely overthinking. I think also just having I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is a Gemini trait, but I love just being goofy and having fun. And, that plays out in our visits and that plays out in situations with COs and dealing with them and, just being my goofy ass self. I'm a ambivert where I can be very shy if I'm not feeling like if I feel like I'm not comfortable in a situation or I'm not sure about a situation. If I'm not sure about people, I can be very shy and quiet. But if I feel comfortable, I'm a goofy motherfucker. I'm so goofy. People think like, if you know me, like I'm crazy. Okay. Like I'm cuckoo cuckoo. So obviously at Angola, I feel very comfortable, believe it or not. Okay. I've been going there for 8 years now. I feel very comfortable. I know the staff. Like yesterday, oh my God, yesterday, there's a guy, there's a CO that works the shift that we were on. And he was waiting for Michael because they do like a strip search when they leave a contact visit. And his name is Gary. And he always comes and checks in on us at visit, like, hey, how you doing? Says hello to me and everything. So I always go, oh, it's Gary. So he was holding the door for me. So I was like, oh, hey, Gary, thank you. Like, just being stupid. And Mike's like, oh, she's gonna say something to you. Don't worry. And Gary was like, she already got me. She already got me. So just being my goofy ass ambivert self. I definitely feel comfortable at Angola. I don't feel scared anymore. So that comes out. That's my Gemini self.
mhm. That's awesome that
So
you could. I don't even know what would happen if I called a CO by their first name.
oh my God, stop. Can I say this? I'm dying to meet this man. There's a captain on the night shift and his name is Bohannon, Captain Bohannon. But Michael calls him Bogina. Like they're on that level. Like this is how it is over there. Okay. So I was like, I'm waiting for the day that I can meet Captain Bojina and go, hey, Captain Bojina. And he's going to know exactly who my husband is because that's what Michael calls him. So
That's funny.
and he calls Michael special ed. So it's they joke around like that. They have that rapport, which is nice. So
that's good. Yeah. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's all I have for the questions. We're going to move on down to the Speaky Pipes. Are we ready for Speaky Pipes? Okay. So guys, for our Speaky Pipes, I wanted to, before we get into that and before you listen to them, I wanted to give you guys something to maybe send us. Okay. I am wearing hoops. I'm going to go over the hoop part and what Michael said to me yesterday at Visit. So our question is, what is something your loved one loves for you to do or where to visit? Because I always like to, I always ask Michael, what kind of nails do you want me to have? Like, I want to get his input because, I mean, I'm dressing up to obviously impress and please him. You know, he's like, well, you can just come in not wearing any makeup or not do your hair. I would love you anyway. I said, I know, but
Joe. I'm like, please.
Yeah. Yesterday, Michael told me, I'm so glad you're not wearing the fake lashes. I hate those things. That's what he told me yesterday. And then he's like, my hair was like this, where it was like covering my earrings. And he's like, where's my hoops? Where's my hoops? So he loves when I wear hoops to visit. And no fake eyelashes. That's Michael.
I believe that. And he's very similar to Joe in that stance. Because like, I've always told Joe, I'm like, because in a little bit, I'm like, oh, if I had a little bit of a lip filler one day, how cool would that be? I've never done it. But he's like, no. Like he doesn't want, and I'm like, just a little bit of Botox with the lines in my forehead. And I'm like, a little bit here. He doesn't want me to touch anything. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. They love us just the way we are. Like, I could go in.
What? Teach me how to do that. How to love myself.
With no makeup. Yeah. I'm like, I could go in with a messy bun and, a stained up t-shirt and no makeup looking like a homeless bum. And he would love it.
When I pick up the video calls, when Joseph calls me randomly for video calls, because I have a rule now where I ask him, I'm like, please tell me before you call, because I usually, whenever it doesn't fail, that I pick up and I am looking terrible. Like my hair is a mess. I don't have any makeup on. I'm in a t-shirt. He has told me so many times, and he means it. But first I was like, okay, just stop saying that. But he does mean it. That is how he loves me, and he loves to see me. And he says specifically because of like our family visits, he says that seeing me like that reminds him of our family visits, because I don't take makeup or anything. And that is how I look the whole time that we are at family visits. So I'm like, he kind of got a full view of me without makeup and me just for who I am. And that's why he's like, I like that. And I'm like, well, I like to like how I look too.
Yeah. I mean, we're girly girls. We like doing our hair and makeup and getting,
getting done up,
getting cute, and so I like to include Michael in that process, but he's always like, I don't care. You don't have to wear it. Just wear your hoops.
Yes.
Just wear your hoops, you know? So the hoops is why I'm wearing the hoops today. I wore different hoops yesterday, but he loves hoops. Cause you know what they say about girls that wear hoop earrings, right?
I've heard.
What do they say, Paige?
I'm not going to say. The bigger the hoop, right?
The bigger the hoe. All right. Sorry for screaming, y'all, but I got excited there. But anyway, so our question for y'all, Speaky Pipe, slide into our DMs, whatever, but mainly for Speaky Pipe. What is something that your loved one loves for you to do or where to visit? Hit us up. Let us know. And so here we go. We'll go ahead and now some of these we have 4 Speaky Pipes. They're by 2 people. And they are basically going back to some of the things we talked about in previous pods with the law of attraction and crazy visiting situations with COs and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Our first 2 are from our lovely member of Love Within Walls. I love her to death. Her name is Tranquilla.
Yay.
Make sure my volume's up. Hold on. All right, here we go.
Hey y'all, I know I'm a couple episodes late, but I was listening to the episode where we were talking about men hitting on you while your loved one is incarcerated, and it happens to me often. I think because I'm so young and like people don't really associate being a prison wife with someone so young, but most of the time, the only thing that deters them is if I tell them what my husband is incarcerated for. Is they don't leave me alone until I tell them what he's in for, which I think is ridiculous because a simple no thank you isn't enough. Like, these men are sick.
Emphasis.
Just wanted to tell y'all that. Love you. Bye.
I love her.
Me too.
But it should be noted that when you say no or no thank
No
you,
means no.
it should be exactly. I was getting fired up about that. But
Always.
yeah. But it is crazy that when you tell them, "Oh no, like, I have somebody," and it takes to the point where, well, this is what he did, so back the fuck up, like, to have to do that is not necessary. And so
I don't understand how men don't realize that, like, not only you're insulting him, but you're insulting me. Like, by, like, you think that, like, and my marriage and my relationship, if you're just dating, like, you know what I mean? Like, that, it's no less valid than yours.
yeah. I think they just see it as an easy in, and I mean, if you think about it, a prison wife is the total catch. Total catch. We're loyal, we're good people, we're good women for sticking by our men. And we obviously, it just adds that attraction factor. And then the fact that
We're in the DSM.
we're in the and then the fact that we don't have dick in our life. Well, 46 states of us don't have dick in our life, and they see that as, oh, well, you're not emotionally available. They love that shit.
Mhm.
We're not emotionally available because we're emotionally attached to someone else, but physically I can give you everything you want, baby.
No and nor.
I like that. Oh no. How do you say it? I can't do it.
Nor.
Oh no. I can't
You
do it.
can.
I can't do it at
Say
all.
nor.
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 There you go.
Like saying nor.
Yeah, like, but with an N.
Oh, nor.
Nor.
Okay.
There you go.
I need to make a meme. I mean a soundboard.
We're
Sorry.
gonna have like real British ladies that listen to us. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
No, I think that's Australian. I think
Oh my
that's
God,
Australian.
you're right. Bye. Wait, no,
Yeah.
no.
Hey.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh no. British would be oh no.
No, that.
But Australia's like,
Did
oh
we say on a
no.
Tuesday?
That's British.
Yeah, that's.
Now, if you say rise up lights, and it's like saying razor blades with an Australian accent.
Rise up lights.
Say it fast.
Rise up lights.
Rise up lights.
Yours actually sounded like it. So sorry to everyone who is just.
Sorry, y'all. We're having. Hey, say. I'm just telling you. If you're in the car
Pause
or you're on
and
the
do it.
YouTube, do it. Say rise up lights really fast, and it sounds like
Rise
you're
up
saying.
lights.
Say it over and
Rise
over,
up lights.
and it sounds. Rise up lights. Rise up lights. Rise up lights.
Now I'm saying it with like the accent.
Yes. All right. We're gonna move to Tranquilla's second Speaky Bite.
Hey y'all, I'm back. My husband's craziest silly story is this guy is no longer his silly, but the unspoken rule in their cell was, doesn't matter what you're doing, when the other person is on the phone, you put your headphones in and you listen to music or watch something, whatever, on the tablet. After this guy got out the cell, my husband found out that he would put the headphones in, but he wouldn't turn anything on. He would just listen to my husband's conversations, whether he was talking to me or his brothers or his nieces, anybody. And it was just so weird to think about, somebody listening to you when you're having sexy time. It's so crazy. Other than the
Yes,
seals, like, just put your headphones in and mind your business.
That's one thing about prison. Unless you're at a family visit, and even then, it's like you're never alone.
Yeah. I can't imagine. At least Michael is in a single cell, so we don't have to deal with that with sexy
That's
time.
awesome.
But I can only imagine having a celly there. Like, what if he's listening? What if they're getting off to your sexy time?
Joe and I know. So I mean, so he has a celly now, but we never would talk like that unless his celly's not in his
Okay.
there. So they like work opposite schedules now, so like that works. But like otherwise, he just wouldn't, because I don't think that he like that unspoken. I don't know. Knowing Joe, I don't think he'd be comfortable. But then if that's the only situation you have,
Yeah, and that I'm thinking if Michael ever gets off death row and goes out to population, they're in dorms, and we wouldn't be able to have that anymore. Like that aspect of our relationship would have to be few and far between. Maybe he can get away and go to like the hobby craft shop or something, but for the most part, being in a dorm, you can't do that. You can't whip your junk out and start doing stuff. So yeah. Yikes. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I can't. But like Michael, it's funny. Like we only get to have sexy time if the fans are on, because the fans make so much noise that people can't hear us. Or if there's no fans, he has to be like really quiet. So there's a lot of factors, that go into it. All right. Our next Speaky Pipe is from Mama, one of my favorite people. She is the person that I talked to about, like, the one that I said that I changed her mindset on the death penalty, and she took care of a lot of people, So here she is. She gave us 2 Speaky Pipes. Love you, Mama.
Hey, lovelies. It's Mama. I just wanted to call real quick and let you know that y'all had asked a few weeks ago about the best and the worst experiences with COs and staff. And I had the most amazing staff member. His name was Nurse Eric. My late husband was in a hospice facility in Columbia, South Carolina. That is where they send all these Southern federal and people that are expected to pass. That's like the nursing home of all nursing homes, apparently. And it was amazing because not only did they take you back to his room because he was bedbound, but they would they left the doors open. You really couldn't wander anywhere. That obviously you needed to stay in the room, but you got all your snacks. They would take you back there. You would sit there. You could hold their hand. You could rub their arms, play with their feet, whatever you wanted to do. And I didn't know all that at first. I was just the fact that he was in a bed, and I was right there, and I was like rubbing his hands and rubbing his legs. And the guy looked at me, and he comes in to change his fluids and stuff. And I jumped back, and he goes, "Honey, you're okay. That's your husband. You're welcome to be loving towards your husband." And then he looked up at the camera and said, "But don't do anything else." And that was probably the best thing. I'll have to call y'all later and tell you the worst.
What happened?
It went. I don't know if you saw anything on your computer, but you froze and it went away.
I froze. Okay, I thought you were okay. Did it cut off at a certain point?
She said rubbing his legs.
Okay, hold on.
Should
I'm
we
gonna
should
note
we
this.
stop it and start a new one?
Would that help?
I don't
mean,
know.
It's working
Okay,
now,
then
right?
we're okay. I just
All right. I just noted the time, and so we'll get Jen to fix
okay.
that. 109. Okay. I'm gonna. You mean to just restart? Or I'll just find where that spot is, I guess. Or you mean to
It
restart?
was about halfway, I feel like.
Okay. Hold on.
Hey, lovelies, it's Mama. I just wanted to
Oh, I
call
can't
real quick
move
and
it.
let you know that y'all had asked a few weeks ago about Eric. My late husband expected to pass. That's like the nursing home of all nursing homes, apparently. And it was amazing because you don't wander anywhere. You know, that obviously you need to stay in the room, but you could got all your snacks. They would take you back there. You would sit there. You could hold their hand. You could rub their arms, play with their feet, whatever you wanted to do. And I didn't know all that at first. I was just the fact that he was in a bed and I was right there and I was like rubbing his hands and rubbing his legs. And the guy looked at me and he comes in to change his fluids and stuff. And I jumped back and he goes, honey, you're okay. That's your husband. You're welcome to be loving towards your husband. And then he looked up at the camera and said, but don't do anything else. And that was probably the best thing. I'll have to call y'all later and tell you the worst.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God. I love it. You know, especially knowing that is like the facility for federal and that exists. And there are people that work there like that are kind and caring is so like a comforting thought, at least, because that has got to be the most difficult situation. Like, you know, God bless you. Like, I can't imagine the heartbreak and the pain of having to sit through that, you know?
Yeah. And it's nice that they have compassionate staff because if you think about it, this is a hard time for a family to come visit because they know that they're not leaving here. They're not leaving this facility. They're not leaving this area. And you see people dying around you, you know? So shout out to Nurse Eric for being amazing and compassionate and, you know, wanting his wife to have a moment with her husband, a loving moment, you know. My heart was like ripping because I know what she's been through. I know this woman, I know what she's been through. I know how horrible the other side of this is, and to be able to have that and be like, it's your husband, you know. It's just it's nice to see because not all of them are like that, you know. So oh, all right, here we go. Now she's going to tell us the bad side. I'm not ready for this one. All right, here we go.
All right, ladies, it's me again. So about the worst experience. So when my late husband went back to the Georgia medical facility, we're not going to name its name, but anybody can look it up. He was in the nursing home section there where they were trying to put him back in for surgery. And he was supposed to have surgery later on that week. And they had taken us back there. And I'll have to draw Gigi a quick picture kind of a thing. But basically, there are 12 cells in this little square room. And in the middle is where your guard is, your CO, whatever you want to call them. And this lady had taken me up there and she stopped at these double doors and she goes, all right, go. And I was like, excuse me? And she goes, go. And I was like, where is he in there? And she's like, just go on up to the middle. Someone will tell you. And I was like, are you not going to walk me in there? And she goes, no, those are animals. Why would I go in there? And you talk about pissed off. But I went, I walked in, all these guys are loose. Most of them are sitting in wheelchairs, so it's not like they're anything to be afraid of. And then they put me in the room with my husband and they slammed that door, and it is glass door. It was hot as hell. It was like a 9 or 10 foot by like 6 foot wide max. It was miserable. Oh my God, that was just the worst. But they're animals, so I hope she rots.
Period. What those are the people that shouldn't be allowed to work near them. Like if that's what you think of them, human beings, and you don't have the right mindset to be working with them.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Wow. I'm speechless.
Mm-mm.
So this was obviously in a different state. This was in Georgia, in a medical facility in Georgia, and he was awaiting surgery, and the lady refused to walk her in there because she said they were animals.
I'd be like, well, I wouldn't, because we were in prison, so I wouldn't do it. But in my head, I would want to be like, I'll show you an animal, bitch. Fucking.
Yeah, I need Paige to rage because I'm doing my chillax. Yeah, that is something that the people like that are the people that should not work there because they clearly have no compassion.
You need to
No,
care
yeah,
about the people that you're dealing with, like
yeah.
that, and that shouldn't be like a hard ask.
No. And these, like she said, these are people like in wheelchairs. These are hospice. Like these are people that are obviously either in a medical situation, they need medical attention, or they're in the hospice where they're, it's the end of their life. This is the last stage of their life. And so you saying that they're animals, clearly, and we know Georgia. Georgia has a lot of problems in their correctional facilities. So, Georgia, do better. You need to hire better people. Let's go.
Maybe
Like, I'm not saying you have to agree with the fact. I mean, we know the crimes are wrong. We know that. Okay. But doesn't make the person. Like, the person was a person before and they're going to be a person after. Like, they made a bad decision. Yes. But animals, you don't even know these people. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. Fuck you. Oh, okay.
Period.
I'm going to chillax. Okay.
I'd be like, ma'am, you better just shut the fuck up and collect that $120,000 annual income that you get and get out of my fucking face.
Look, wait.
Period.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you experienced that, Mama, because you're an amazing human being and your husband had never deserved what he got. And the treatment he received was horrendous. And so my heart goes out to you but thank you for sharing that because that is the reality of how people are treated in prison and how wives are treated in prison when they go visit their loved ones. So, all right, Paige, do you have anything? Oh, we got meme of the week. Are we ready for meme of the week? Is there anything else that we have? Did you have anything else? That was my last Speaky Pipe.
I had one shout out that I was going to do.
Oh, wait. Shout out. Give him shout. Give him clout. All right, go ahead, Paige.
So my shout out this week is for the National Life Without Parole Leadership Council. They have just launched their website, www.beyondlwap.org. And basically what the National Life Without Parole Leadership Council is it is a bunch of formerly incarcerated men and women who were previously sentenced to life without parole but are now free. Had some kind of legislation or something come up, and they all join this coalition now. And I cannot even begin to tell you how amazing this group of people are. Obviously, but they all were incarcerated for life, got out of that, and then are still dedicating their lives to helping end LWAP and get these people that are sentenced to LWAP out from behind bars. And the website has a bunch of really awesome knowledge. You get to meet some of the members who had LWAP. You can follow them on TikTok, on Instagram. And they have some really cool stats about life without parole. And if even there's one country in the world that sentences the children to life without parole. Can you guess which one?
The United States.
That's correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
83% of the world's LWAP prisoners are in the United States.
We're the greatest country in the world.
Yep. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. They are a bunch of really, really great people. They put out a bunch of really good information, and they help with a lot of legislative efforts that are out there moving. They helped a lot with the Heard case, and they just don't stop. And I really love them. And especially if you have anyone that you love that was sentenced to LWOP, definitely check them out. They're a great organization.
Okay. Shout out.
Period.
And I gave my shout out earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and give my shout out again to the staff at Angola Death Row, the COs and the staff back there who are amazing and let us have a wonderful visit. So thank you.
Yay.
All right. Ready for the meme of the week?
Oh, ready.
What's that meme? What's that meme, Paige? You want to pull it up?
Sure. It's
Okay.
not corrected yet. Is that okay?
No, we're going to listen, guys. And listen. Can I just say this? Because I love these fucking memes because they're awesome and what they say. But as a English teacher, I cringe
It's
inside
hard. It's
because
like, I'm not
first
sharing
of all,
this if it's wrong.
I did. I shared it even though it was wrong, and it geared my grind my gears. I can't even talk today. The your in the last one was not correct, and that I can't stand that. And if you need a lesson on your, I will happily do that. Or there, I will happily do that for you. I am a grammar police when it comes to that, and spelling police. So we have to fix this one. It's a cute one. Paige is going to show you the picture of it, but it's not spelled correctly, and I cannot. It's one of those some e-cards, I think it's what it's called. So I love these because they're fucking funny and they're great. You want me to read it, Paige, or you want to read it?
So it says, they chose the life that they live. We chose to love them, regardless of how they live. Prison wives.
Done. Prison wives. Ding. I love it. So shout out to the prison wives for loving our men despite the bullshit and everything. Love you guys. We love y'all. All right, Paige, that is the end. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Do we want to tell everybody about our survey that we have posted on the Instas and our Love Within Walls page?
And also, maybe to preface something that we will have coming after that too, maybe specifically one for people who were previously incarcerated, because I actually we didn't even get to talk about it yet, but I had a few people reach out to me previously incarcerated that were interested. They were like, I'm not sure if so I was like, I was like, fill it out if you're interested now, and like kind of work your way around it. And I was like, maybe we can cater one and make one that's specific to that.
Yeah, and even with the question that we had today about, dealing with someone coming home after a long sentence, I think having somebody post-incarceration would be very helpful. So we definitely have some people lined up to come on the pod, different people, different types from all walks of life. But our survey that we were talking about is posted on our Instagram page. It's also posted on our Love Within Walls Facebook group. And it's basically a survey because we want to have prison wives on our pod. Like, we want you guys to be able to come and share your story for part of a pod. So, all different types. We have, listen, if you don't know the vocabulary for types of relationships within the prison, you have MBI, met before incarceration, MWI, met while incarcerated, RWI, reconnected while incarcerated. So these are all different types of relationships that we want to focus on and have you guys share. Storytelling is such a powerful component. And so we put out a survey. If you are interested in sharing your story with your loved one, find our post on Instagram. I believe the cutoff date you had July 19th, correct? Okay. So you have until July 19th. If you are interested, and guys, obviously we can, if you don't want to talk about certain things, that's fine. Obviously we want to honor that, but just be ready to be talking about you and your loved one and your relationship and how it has, the challenges that you face and all of the obstacles that happen. And I'd love to hear of someone who's MBI, because I have it from an MWI perspective, and I know Paige does too. But what is it like I don't know if I could make it through a trial, through charges, through everything and still be there, you know?
We actually had a good
So
bit, a few MBIs fill it
okay.
out so far.
Yeah, I know of one definitely for sure, but I didn't know if there were a lot more. So we'd love to hear maybe a reconnected story
We got
eventually. I
one.
think that's yay. Okay. Is the bulk MWI?
No, I think it was MBI, which was
Oh, okay.
different.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's what we want because Paige and I are both MWI, so we have a MWI perspective, but I'd love to hear an RWI perspective or an MBI perspective. And if you are MWI, fill it out. We'd love to hear different stories. And just be honest and, you know, as give as much information, and keep in mind the information you do give us is only seen by Paige and I. So it's not like the whole world has to know every little thing that you put on that form. But if you are interested in being on the pod and being featured on the pod and sharing your story, find our post on Prison Wife Podcast on Instagram or in our Love Within Walls Facebook group.
Also, one thing to add, we didn't really clarify like how long it needed to be because like I know there are some people that were like worried about. I don't think I could take up a whole like segment or anything. Like, don't even worry about that. Like, that's not even your.
No.
You don't have to worry about that. You know, we work with people and we. You know, even if it ends up being like we talk with a few people that we have short stories, we could even put like 3 people in one episode. Like, you know what I mean? Don't worry about that. If you have a story and you want to share it with us, just submit.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you're worried about, you don't have to worry about taking up the whole pod at all because Paige and I can sit here and talk for clearly an hour freaking and a half. Okay.
We both have ADHD, so it's fine.
So have no fear. And plus we have different segments as well that we incorporate into the pod. So, you know, that takes up time too. So have no fear. You don't have to, I would say if you're worried 20, 30 minutes, maybe 15. I mean, it doesn't have to be that long. So, but all right. That's all I have, Paige. Do you have anything else?
That's it.
Okay, guys. It's that time. But we love you guys. You're our wallers. We love you. And we hope that you have an amazing hump day and a good weekend, a great visit weekend if you're having visits. And I'm looking forward to our little meetup coming up soon. Almost a week away.
Yay.
Almost a week away.
Yay.
Paige and I are going to meet in person. And we're going to hate each other.
I know. We're like, the pod's over. We're like, I hate this bitch. I'm fine.
No, we're going to. I have to spend 4 days with you? Really? Oh my God.
You better record the pod on the first day.
Yeah, that way all of that, like any problems we have after that will be afterwards.
We're kidding. Just anyone who doesn't pick up on that.
Oh. I love Paige with all my heart and my soul.
You.
So,
and I love them.
And we love you guys. And we love our wallers. Help us take over the world, y'all. Oh, okay. All right.
There's my Alpha. Gen Z.
Or a Gen Z. Hey Paige, how do you use the phone?
Listen, I do this right.
Okay.
That's my son is like, I'm like, stop. You've never had a flip razor, and it shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. We thought we were hot shit with razors. Just saying. Did you have a pink one? Did you have a pink one? Okay.
Whenever you'd be off the phone, like you'd be fighting, you'd be like, why was that always like it? It was like that was that moment.
You slam the phone down.
Like I said what I said.
I did not have a razor. I actually had the Sprint because I had Sprint at the time. If you remember, Long Live Sprint, right? Sprint had the katana, and that's what I had. I had a katana, but it was the same thing basically. I wasn't fancy. I wasn't bougie enough for the razor.
I always had AT&T, aka Singular. Remember when he was like the little orange dude?
Oh yeah,
I had that, and I remember I was always so pissed off because I wanted to have T-Mobile so I could have a sidekick. Because I would always see people with the sidekicks, and I'd be like, I want a sidekick.
The sidekick's the one that flips out and has the big keypad. Okay,
my whole life I wanted that. So,
hey Paige, did you ever have a pager?
No, but my dad had one.
Okay.
So
I had a beeper in the 90s, y'all. If you had a
Aw.
pager. Oh, hey, Paige, speaking of, what's going to be our emoji? If only there was a sidekick or a pager or a razor.
No, I'm like, oh, let's do the crab.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. The crab, the pinchy cancer crab, because it is cancer season.
is,
Just saying,
it
happy cancer season to all the cancers out
Thank
there.
you. It's a whole month to celebrate us, you know.
And is it Joe's birthday soon?
He had his. He missed. It was.
Oh, that's right. It was already.
Yeah,
That's right.
He's a June.
He's a June. Yours is coming
Mhm.
up. I'm excited, and we're gonna be together for her birthday. So you'll see all and guys, stay tuned because we're gonna be doing ticky tacks. We're gonna be doing Instagram lives, TikTok lives, Facebook lives,
everything. You're gonna be so
We're
fucking annoyed with
documenting.
us. You guys are gonna be like, "Is this over yet?"
They're gonna be like, Paige and Gigi, I need y'all to take a break, take a week off.
Be like, please just stop.
But we love you guys. We love our Wallers, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye,
all right. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Besitos, mi amores. I love you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.